The Stand Your Ground law is more than just Trayvon Martin. Although the Trayvon Martin case has brought light to the injustices in the Stand Your Ground law, it is not the only case, nor the only type of case of injustices found in the law. What is the Stand Your Ground law? In an article by Kimberly Beller, Guns, Stand Your Ground, the Stand Your Ground law is described as the law that states there is no duty to retract in a situation before using deadly force. This means that unlike self-defense laws, which are different from your Stand Your Ground laws, if someone finds themselves in a perceived life-threatening situation, they are not required to flee the scene in an attempt to remove themselves from the threat, but instead that person can stand their ground with the use of deadly force. How does this affect us? Psychologists have found that someone with a gun is 79% more likely to use that gun in an argument. And the Stand Your Ground law, as it stands right now, is giving those people a way to do so without consequence. They have also found that those gun owners are 5 times more likely to put themselves in unsafe situations where they may need to use their gun. What are some examples of the injustices created by this law? Many know the highly televised Trayvon Martin case, in which George Zimmerman followed and shot a 17-year-old unarmed boy and was acquitted because of the Stand Your Ground law. An example on the opposite side of the injustices is the case of Marissa Alexander, a new mother that was in a documented abusive relationship. In fact, the estranged spouse had a restraining order at the time of the incidents. Alexander fired a warning shot of her licensed gun into the air in the middle of the attack from the estranged husband. She tried to use the Stand Your Ground law to avoid the Florida mandatory jail sentence of 20 years for shooting a gun, but was convicted to the full 20 years in prison. Why should this law be abolished? If Trayvon Martin was your family member, would you want Zimmerman to get off without even a slap on the wrist? Would you want one of your loved ones attacked with deadly force just because someone has a perceived threat and the confidence of no consequence? We should all be held accountable for our actions. And if there is a perceived threat to your life, the first instinct is to retreat to safety. But because of this law, there is more tendency to shoot first and ask questions later. It's time to make a change for ourselves, our families, our loved ones, and all of the innocent people in this world. It's time to make justice easy.